Dear students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Y.S. Rajput, Emeritus Scientist, Animal Biochemistry Division, National Dairy Research Institute, Karnal. Today, I am going to teach you the technique of Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy, which is popularly called as FTIR under the paper Biochemical Techniques. Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy is a technique which provides a spectrum of solid, liquid or gas in infrared range of electromagnetic radiation. In this technique of spectroscopy, Fourier transform, a mathematical process, is required to convert raw data into spectrum, and therefore the technique is called Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy. In FTIR, data are collected simultaneously over a wide range of wavelength. This feature is different from UV visible spectrophotometry, where the data are collected over a narrow range of wavelength at a time. In FTIR, mid-infrared waves are most commonly used. The technique is useful for characterization of organic molecules, which includes alcohol, alkane, alkene, alkyl halide, alkyne, amine, carbonyl, ether, nitrile, nitrous, aldehyde, amide, and anhydride, ester, ketone, and so on. The technique is also useful for analyzing inorganics, which includes paints, coatings, resins. In this presentation, I will be covering elementary aspects of spectroscopy with some focus on infrared spectroscopy. The technique of FTIR will be elaborated. The optical system and its working principle will be explained in detail. Instrumentation and application of FTIR will also be covered. Before proceeding to FTIR spectroscopy, it is better to have elementary understanding of electromagnetic radiation. Electromagnetic radiation or waves are composed of electric vector and magnetic vector, which oscillates in phase and 90 degree to each other, and both the vectors are also right angles to the direction of propagation of wave. Electromagnetic radiation radiates out from a source in all directions and are of different wavelength. These includes radio waves with a wavelength range from 0.5 meter to higher value, microwaves with a wavelength from 0.3 millimeter to 0.5 meter, far infrared with wavelength from 50 to 300 micrometer, mid-infrared with wavelength from 2.5 to 50 micrometer, that is 2500 nanometer to 50,000 nanometer, near infrared with wavelength from 0.8 to 2.5 micrometer, that is 800 nanometer to 2500 nanometer, visible light with a wavelength from 4 into 10 to the power minus 7 to 8 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter, that is 400 to 800 nanometer, near ultraviolet with wavelength from 200 to 400 nanometer, vacuum ultraviolet with a wavelength from 10 to 200 nanometer, X-rays with wavelength from 10 to the power minus 2 to 10 nanometer, and gamma rays with a wavelength from 10 to the power minus 14 to 10 to the power minus 16 meter. Frequency and wavelengths are interrelated by the equation c is equal to lambda nu, where c is the speed of light, lambda is the wavelength, and nu is the frequency. Frequency is the number of complete cycles per second. The standard unit of frequency is Hertz, which is referred as Hz. Wavelength is referred as lambda, and it is the distance between one peak or trough of a wave and the next peak or a trough. Electromagnetic spectrum consists of radiations of different wavelength, each possessing different energy, frequency, and intensity. High energy radiations are characterized by short wavelength and high frequency. Low energy radiations are characterized by long wavelength and low frequencies. The interaction of electromagnetic radiation with a particular matter involves not only the properties of radiation but also involves the structure characteristic of the matter. The electrons in a molecule are distributed at different energy levels but mainly present in lowest energy state, that is referred as E1, until promoted to excited state represented by E2. The difference in energy, that is delta E, which is equal to E1 minus E2, in terms of the quantum, it is the required by the electrons to reach the higher energy state, that is also referred as the excited state. If this energy is derived from electromagnetic radiation, it gives rise to the absorption spectrum, and that is the range of wavelengths which are absorbed by the electrons of the molecule to reach the excited state. When electrons falls back from higher energy excited state to lower energy ground state, it gives emission spectrum. Therefore, absorption and emission spectrum are characteristic of a wavelength of electromagnetic radiation and the material involved. Infrared spectroscopy is supposed to be one of the most robust analytical techniques. The greatest benefit of infrared spectroscopy is that it can almost analyze any sample in any state, maybe a powder or a film or liquid or gas or solution or paste or fiber. Infrared radiation does not have enough energy to induce electronic transitions in UV range. Absorption of infrared is restricted to compounds with small energy differences, possible vibrational and rotational states. For a molecule to absorb infrared, the vibrations or rotations within a molecule must cause a net change in dipole moment of the molecule. The alternating electric field of the radiation interacts with fluctuations in the dipole moment of the molecule. If the frequency of radiation matches the vibrational frequency of the molecule, then radiation will be absorbed, causing a change in the amplitude of molecular vibration. Rotational transitions are of little use to the spectroscopy. Absorption of infrared by gases yields line spectra. However, in liquid or solid, these lines broaden into a continuum due to molecular collisions and other interactions. Molecular vibration, the position of atoms in the molecules are not fixed. They are subject to a different vibrations. Vibrations fall into two main categories of stretching and bending. Stretching refers to change in interatomic distance along bond axis, while the bending refers to change in angle between two bonds. Fourier transform spectroscopy is a technique which provides a spectrum of absorption or emission of a solid or liquid or gas. In Fourier transform, a mathematical process is required to convert raw data into spectrum. In FTIR, data are collected simultaneously over a wide range of wavelengths. This feature is different from UV visible spectrophotometer, where data are collected over narrow range of wavelength at a time. The instrument consists of infrared sources, detectors, beam splitter, attenuated total reflections, and most importantly, the interferometer. Most FTIR spectrophotometer are used in mid or near infrared region. Wavelength in mid IR region is 2 to 25 micrometer, which corresponds to frequency of 5000 to 400 inverse of centimeter. For this region, the most common source is silicon carbide, which is heated to 1200 degree Kelvin. Tungsten halogen lamp at high temperature is used for near infrared, which corresponds to 1 to 2.5 micrometer or 10,000 to 4,000 inverse centimeter. For far infrared region, the wavelength beyond 50 micrometer, that is 200 inverse of centimeter, mercury discharge lamp is used. For mid infrared, pyroelectric detectors are used. These detectors respond to changes in temperature, which results from fall of radiation of different intensities. These detectors contain deuterated triglycine sulfate, referred as DTGS, or lithium tantalate, that is LiTaO3. The detector works at room temperature. The time of scan is few seconds. For higher sensitivity or faster response, cool photoelectric detector used. In mid IR region, liquid nitrogen cooled mercury cadmium telluride, popularly referred as MCT, is used. With this, interferogram can be measured in as low as 10 milliseconds. DTGS can also be used in near IR. For far IR region, sensitive detector is required since both source and beam splitter are inefficient. The detector used in this region is liquid helium cooled silicon or germanium bolometer. Beam splitter transmits 50% radiation and reflects remaining 50%. But individual beam splitter has limited range, and therefore several beam splitters may be required for covering wide range. Germanium coated KVR is used for mid IR region. Calcium fluoride, that is CaF2, is in the near region, but it is less sensitive to moisture than KBR. Far IR beam splitters uses polymer films and covers limited range. Attenuated total reflectance This is X3 to the FTIR, and this X3 is required for measuring surface properties of solid or thin samples. It has a penetration depth of 1 to 2 micrometer. So far, we have learned elementary aspect of electromagnetic radiation, matter, and interaction of radiation with matter. It should be clear by now that infrared are of low energy in comparison to UV and visible rays, and therefore these radiations can be used for only the spectrum which requires very less amount of energy, like vibration, rotation, which involves of course the low energy. Energy level of infrared is low, and therefore intensity is also low. Thus, their detection is difficult, and different detectors are required for IR spectra. Vibration is very common in molecule, and therefore the technique has very wide use in characterization of molecules. Now we will be discussing optical system, which is central to instrumentation in FTIR, and application of FTIR as well. Interferometer is key part, and the working principle will be discussed in detail. Application part will also be covered in remaining part of my presentation. FTIR uses different optical systems. One of the most common optical system used is Michelson interferometer. It consists of light source, collimator, mirror, beam, splitter, fixed mirror, moving mirror, and detector. Light source emits infrared radiation, and these falls on collimator. Transmitted radiations from collimator move parallel to each other. The radiation falls on beam splitter, which splits the beam into two equal parts. One half of the incident radiation is transmitted and falls on moving mirror, while the other half is reflected and falls on fixed mirror. As the name states, that fixed mirror is fixed at defined distance from beam splitter, and thus path length between the beam splitter and fixed mirror is constant. On the other hand, moving mirror can be made to move away or towards beam splitter, and therefore path length between moving mirror and splitter beam can be varied. Reflected light fallen on fixed mirror is reflected back on beam splitter, which again split into two equal halves, and one half of it, that is 25% of original radiation, is transmitted to the sample or detector. 50% of the initial radiation, which is transmitted by beam splitter and falls on moving mirror, is also reflected back splitter. At this point, radiation will again split into two. One half of or 25% of original radiation is transmitted to sample or detector. In nutshell, it can be said that 50% of the original radiation will fall on sample, and of which 50% radiation, that is 25% of original radiation, has moved between beam splitter and fixed mirror, and the remaining 50%, that is 25% of original radiation, has moved between beam splitter and moving mirror. Let us assume the distance between beam splitter and fixed mirror is L1. The distance between beam splitter and moving mirror is L2. I will explain this by taking two different cases. In case 1, if L1 is equal to L2, then path length covered by radiation from beam splitter to fixed mirror and back to beam splitter is same as path length covered by radiation from beam splitter to moving mirror and back to beam splitter. Thus, radiation fallen on sample from both routes has covered equal distance prior to fallen on beam splitter, and therefore both will be in the same phase while leaving the beam splitter. This is called constructive interference. This will enhance intensity of radiation fallen on sample or detector. In case 2, where we will be explaining by saying that if wavelength of radiation is lambda and moving mirror is displaced by lambda by 4, that is the 1/4 of the wavelength, then path length difference will be lambda by 2, that is half of the wavelength, and two beams will be out of phase, and interference is called destructive interference. Of this, the few inferences can be made. Inference number 1, if x is the difference in optical path length of two beams, n is equal to 0 or 1 lambda or 2 lambda or 3 lambda or 4 lambda or 5 lambda and so on, the two beams will interfere constructively. We can say for constructive interference x is equal to n lambda, where n is an integer. In second inference of it, if x is equal to 0 or half lambda or 3/2 lambda or 5/2 lambda or 7/2 lambda and so on, two beams will interfere destructively. We can say for destructive interference x is equal to n plus half multiplied by lambda, where n is an integer. The third inference is for monochromatic radiation, the constructive inference will repeat when moving mirror is additionally displayed by the distance equivalent to half lambda or 3/2 lambda or 5/2 lambda or 7/2 lambda and so on. The intensity of light observed by the detector of monochromatic light is given by Ix is equal to 4 RTS into half cos 2 pi sigma x. This is also equal to B cos 2 pi sigma x, where 4 RT is beam splitter efficiency, and in that R is the energy reflected by the beam splitter, T is the energy transmitted by the beam splitter, and S is the radiation energy from the light source, and sigma is the wave number. Wave number is the number of complete wave in unit distance. It is reciprocal of wavelength. In that equation, B is equal to 4 RTS into half. If polychromatic light is emitted instead of monochromatic light, intensity of light observed by detector can be given by integration of equation 1 with respect to wave number ranging from 0 to infinity. Fourier cosine transform of spectrum B. The inverse of Fourier cosine transform of Ix will recover the original spectrum, that is the B. FTIR detector measures I, that is the interferogram, which is Fourier transform to obtain the spectrum. FTIR analysis is very fast and sensitive and is particularly beneficial in cutting-edge research applications. From FTIR spectra, the composition of any solid, liquid or gas can be predicted. The technique is widely used for identification of groups, which gives bands a particular frequency as shown in table. Alcohol, alkane, alkene can be identified by characteristic band shown in the table. In continuation of what we mentioned in the last table, this technique can also be used for identifying alkyl halide, alkyne, and amine, which also gives a characteristic band at a defined frequency shown in table. Similar to other bonds, this technique is also used for identifying aromatic carbon-hydrogen bond, aromatic carbon-carbon double bond, carbonyl group, ether, nitrile, and nitro. So again, one has to see these characteristic absorption bands, and presence of these bands will identify the presence of these compounds or the functional groups in unknown sample. The list is long, and even we can identify acids, aldehyde, amide, and particularly in acid the different frequencies will be there for carbon oxygen double bond, OH single bond, carbon oxygen single bond, for aldehydes CO bond, and CH, amide, CO, NH, NH. So if this is frequencies for the bending, then different band will be there. For stretching, different band will be there. So by seeing these band positions, one can easily predict what functional group will be present in the unknown sample. So list is long, I have said it, that but FTIR analysis, this can be used for analyzing anhydride, ester, ketone, and again in similar cases one has to see the band at a particular frequency and then predict whether such groups or molecules are present in the sample or not. So besides the analysis of various organic compounds, this FTIR can be used for in a number of applications. This includes quality analysis of pre and post manufacture materials, chemical formulations of polymers, rubbers, and other materials. Contaminants can be detected, and thus the technique of FTIR is very useful for ensuring quality of samples. The technique is useful for analyzing thin films, coating materials, and many other samples. In other words, surface structure can be characterized. The technique has been used for characterizing functional groups at surface of polymers. We in fact have characterized molecular imprinted polymers using FTIR. This technique has helped in understanding the kind of interaction between polymer and the target. The FTIR can be used for analyzing automobile or industrial releases. This can be used for analysis of product failure. FTIR can be used for monitoring air quality, testing water quality, and analyzing soil to address environmental and health concerns caused by the increasing pollution levels. FTIR can be used in food manufacturing industries for rapid determination of components in processed foods as trans fat content. International drug enforcement agencies, police departments, and custom laboratories rely very heavily on infrared spectroscopy to quickly identify illegal drugs, crime scene evidences, banned materials, and counterfeit goods. FTIR overall helps in investigation. It can analyze paint and therefore can help in hit and run accidents. Dear students, if I summarize what has been covered in today's presentation, you have learned elementary knowledge on electromagnetic radiation, wavelength, frequency, energy, absorption, emission. General aspect of infrared has also been covered. Instrumentation used in FTIR is elaborated. Optical system, specifically the working principle of interferometer, is elaborated. Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy is very powerful spectroscopic method for identification and quantification of analytes. Identification is based on characteristic IR band pertaining to vibration of different bonds. Not many laboratories has these facilities in India. We name any field, it has applications. It can be used in environmental analysis, food quality, forensic science, research laboratories. Before I conclude, I must thank Dr. Dheeraj Kumar Nanda, who has helped me in preparing the module on infrared spectroscopy, specifically the FTIR. Thank you.